Midday.com today is talking to Mahesh Bhatt, Barkha, Bisht, Krishna Bhatt and Avika Gor, a team that is coming to you with a fantastic horror film. My first question, what does fear mean to you, each of you?
Fear means one thing to every living being. The fear of extinction, of being erased from the face of the earth, of getting off the wheel of eternity. So we are cut from the same cloth, and what glues us together, what stitches us together, what brings us together is that primordial fear of being erased. And that is what is the heartbeat of a horror film. That is why it has endured in every season, in every country, over the years, irrespective of recession, irrespective of the economic conditions of the industry, and it will continue.
What does fear mean to you, Barkha?
What does fear mean to me? My God, I think pretty much what Bhatsa said. To add to that, I think irrelevance. I think to be irrelevant someday. I think that is something that fear means to me. Yeah.
What about you, Krishna?
I think for me, fear is what I feel. I think that's what I think resonates with the film for me. When you say horrors of the heart, fear is not just a ghost that you're scared of. It's also the demons that you have inside of you. We all have our emotional demons. We all fight something within ourselves. And I think sometimes when you're not able to deal with that, it scares you. So that for me, my internal demons are what really scare me more than anything else.
Avika?
To add to this one,
I think
That's how it happened.
when I hear the word fear, the only thought that comes to my head is losing the belief that I have in myself. And I think that's the only thought, and not a very nice thought.
How much do you believe in, supernatural, evil spirits? Or because I believe that if good is there, bad has to be there. वरना आपको पता कैसे चलेगा कि अच्छा क्या है?
I totally believe in spirits. Believe in spirits because, when you say that we have a God, right? We pray to God every day and we go to temples and we tell Him protect us from everything bad and protect us from all evil. Now, if you say protect me from evil, there has to be evil, right? That you require protection
Has to be something, yeah.
from. And it's, there is a deep discussion that we can go into, but I just totally believe that if there is a God, there is a devil. And that is, I have complete faith in all the stuff that we put into the film because I feel like people have these experiences and whether it happens to you or not, it's there. It's not compulsory that it has to happen to every human being on the planet for it to be there.
So evil, according to me, is supernatural. We're talking about. You're talking about supernatural, right? Well, as Krishna rightly said, if you believe in God, you'll believe in the devil.
True.
Because you have to, your mind oscillates between the opposites, right?
True.
But I do not believe in that kind of the existence of an entity who is formless and who's out to get you. But the evil that men do, is perhaps more scary than so-called formless forces which can supposedly scare you on screen. But thought is energy, right? So
that's where I was coming.
Evil, so evil thought. If I sit down here and I think of evil doing harm to you, and thinking evil about you, even an animal senses it, and he will not come close to you. A child senses it.
Yes.
So there's a kind of a feeling that envelops the space where you are in. So the human being is the Gangotri of what you call that evil force, which according to you, you say is a supernatural force which you can't see, but it's energy.
It's energy. Yes, I agree.
There are spaces which have perhaps still the residue of that energy, and that's why you go into certain rooms and
you feel heavy.
And you feel heavy, and
True.
you feel as if something has happened here, and it's anguish spaces and tormented spaces. And,
True.
So it's nothing but the vibes.
The vibe.
Vibes.
The energy.
So that is what some people give form to it. Project.
They need a story to tell.
Yeah, they translate that into images, and so they see things. But I cannot make absolute statement because this is my understanding. However, there are people who swear that they have had encounters with ghosts.
Okay. Barkha?
God, I'm pretty much believe in what Bhatt is saying. I do not believe in supernatural. Like he said, I don't believe in an entity. But I do believe that once a human body dies, there is a soul. And that soul is nothing but energy. For me, right? And sometimes, so experiences that people have, or, being possessed, I think it is some energy that possesses you, not an entity. It could be you fighting your own demons. It could be something that has caught you at a really weak moment in your life and you have reacted thus. So it is definitely some kind of energy. But I don't think I believe in an entity because I have never experienced it. But yeah, it's just energy, and it's good or bad energy depending on
Vibes,
what kind of a human you were, because I'm assuming your soul will give that kind of energy out whenever you leave the world. So yeah.
Always. Avika, what about
I
you?
completely agree with her. I mean, because I also haven't experienced any of this, so I don't really believe in all of this. But I've heard people, sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
And it does make me believe that it's all about the energy. And like she said, that it depends on what kind of a person you were, and that's the kind of vibe you would leave. Your soul would leave
attract the
So
similar kind of.
I agree with her, and I think that's the similar belief I have.
Let's talk about the film. But sir, you wrote something after a long time. You chose to.
No, I've been writing all the time.
Yeah, but you hung your boots.
The first time I have been working with a team of writers, younger writers, two ladies and a young man, and under the gaze of a younger director. So you can say this is the first time experience to that. Otherwise, the movies that I wrote were more or less solitary experiences.
Yeah.
So they were different. This is made I've written according to the specification of the franchise. And so the franchise comes with a demand that you need this kind of writing, for which of course you had Krishna, who has been groomed by Vikram, and Vikram himself, who happens to be a master of this genre. So I would say that within that gaze and within those parameters, one wrote with a very vibrant, thirsty young team.
So, whatever I know of you, I believe learning never stops at your end. What did you pick up? What did you learn when you were working with them? What were the new things that you observed?
What I'll keep on repeating, because repetition is the art of advertising. So I would say that reverse mentoring. There comes a time where the elders need to understand actually, and they must submit to the thinking and the thirsts of the younger people who are now here struggling to make their presence felt, and their energy and their idiom of communication is so sparklingly fresh. So you need, it's a privilege to be deconstructed. So I would say that it was the deconstruction process of mine. And I would say I shed a lot of things. You say learning means adding, right?
Adding.
You add. In this case, I had to unlearn, and it's going on and on and on and on. I think for me the process is more of unlearning than learning.
Interesting. And Avika and Barkha, I would like to ask you, how was the experience working with Krishna? And because, when women, girls, when they are together, the energy is different, the vibe is different. If you can just share your experience.
So I have worked with Krishna before, and I'm really really glad that we got to work again. To start on a lighter note, I would say this for both of them. It was like working with two young girls. Okay. Little girls, if I may say so, two little girls. Where if you see them on the set, you would
Little
be like,
big girls.
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even think that she's somebody who would be handling or directing a whole crew of people, telling you what to do and how to do it and all of that, telling the cameraman what to do, telling the actors what to do. I mean, you just think like she's this young girl sitting on the set, probably Vikram's daughter, been around, and then suddenly role and action happens, and then she's a different person altogether.
Okay.
Because she knows what she wants. She will keep doing it till she gets it. Like Avika mentioned earlier, if she doesn't like something, she'll be honest enough to even tell you. And again, older, younger generation, this is something that I got to learn from her, is that, it's okay to be honest, and it's okay to just say what you have to, because I think somewhere we have learned to be a little diplomatic and a little, let's be a little nice and let's not just say this, and the other person might not like it. But I think what she does actually helps actors to do so much better. It's very, like they said, never judge a book by its cover. She's a living example of that, because she's this young, energetic girl who's laughing in between shots and sitting and chilling. Of course, I would be chilling with her father. She and Avika would be sitting and having, weird conversations and laughing over weird things, while me and Vikram are having more intense conversations. But it was like this bundle of energy, to have her around. So it's been great.
And I can't wait to work with her again. She's amazing on set. I love her clarity. I love her enthusiasm about getting the shots right. I really loved working with her.
I think I've taught them well what to say when.
What to say when, yeah.
Good learning, guys. Good learning.
I want to ask you that things have changed a lot. I mean, from the time when, women-centric films were not even made. Today we see on the posters there is just a face of a girl. And I feel very powerful every time I see a film, which is telling stories of women, girls. How do you see this change? And do you think that as a society, we are okay and open enough? लोग बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें करते हैं, लोग बहुत प्रेज भी करते हैं, but जब हम कोर की बात करें तो क्या आपको लगता है that we are actually in a phase where we are genuinely happy with women being successful?
You see, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Well, there is undoubtedly a remarkable leap that we have taken, and today is so refreshing to see that in the mainstream you're making women-centric films which are till yesterday were a no-no. But a lot more needs to be done, and it will happen. It's an organic evolution. Societies evolve slowly over time, but as I said, it's too early to uncork the champagne bottle and celebrate, the women are here. No. For that, the men will have to play a very important role. They'll have to realize that it is they owe it to the women, not in a patronizing way, because they have a lot to learn from the women. They have the innate wisdom and they have the understanding that men do not have.
How are you feeling when you hear him saying this?
I think my generation has taken it for granted that women are empowered. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it, but ever since I've started working, I've seen a lot of women around me, and also something that I've noticed that Mahesh uncle and dad together have always kind of made female-oriented films. They've, I think, from Earth to every film, they have always pushed women. So that respect for women for me is natural because I've seen it around me constantly. I've always seen them push women more than they push men, to the forefront. So I think I have taken it for granted that women are, all powerful and all. So when people ask me, that's when I kind of realize that this equality or this power that women now have is something that the women in the previous generations didn't enjoy. And I think I feel blessed that I have come into a generation which has not really looked down upon the talent of women or their ability to match up to men. That is something that is great that has happened in the last decade, I think, especially.
Interesting. 3 things that you've learned from Mahesh ji and 3 things that you have picked up from your father.
I think from Mahesh uncle, I think he respects everyone, no matter how old they are. Especially if the younger you are, the more respect you get. I genuinely feel that way. He doesn't ever look at anyone and say, "Oh, you're so silly. Keep quiet." He's never said it. Even if we are thinking in our heads, "Oh God, this guy is silly," he respects it. He has deep respect for everyone's opinion. He might not incorporate everything, but he will give you a fair chance to make your point. And that respect is so nice. You feel so loved and respected. You don't feel like, okay, I don't have a place to write here, or I don't have a place to talk in front of. And he has so much experience. He has such an aura that you get scared. I used to be initially really scared to be. I remember he once told me, "Can we be friends?" And he told me that I am exactly like you. I'm not some great person. So he makes you, that's the second thing about him, makes you very comfortable to be you. And the third thing, which is a very disturbing thing actually, is that he makes you get so much in touch with your emotions that at times I used to go home and cry. Because I have not really, it was like therapy.
He has that energy.
Yeah. No, it's not just that, he makes you really be honest with what you truly
He opens
feel.
you
It
up.
kind of bandages you afterwards, but that process is very scary. I get scared because I'm so vulnerable in front of him. He sees through me. He sees that if I'm fake smiling, he knows I'm fake smiling. He knows that this smile is just for the public and actually I'm crying in my heart. That is what. And about dad, I think he's a genius. I don't know if I'm a crazy daughter who thinks my father's a genius. But the way he's brought Unreal Engine and augmented reality at a time when filmmaking almost, I thought, was gonna just vanish after COVID. There was, people couldn't go to sets, you couldn't go to a theater. People thought films were only going to go out of the history of cinema was over. But he came up with something so unique. And when you see 1920, it doesn't look like child's play. It doesn't look like someone has just experimented. So that is something that I love from my dad. He's also a very brave man. He doesn't let failure ever get to him. He just comes back for one more round of success. He's never given up. It's very difficult to put him down.
You dare not write his obituary.
Yeah, he every time someone writes his obituary, he comes with a hit. And then they're like, "Oh my God, now we have to write his obituary again some other time." So that, and he gives new people a chance. I think he and Mahesh uncle have that in common. They give a younger person a chance. They don't say that, "Oh, okay, let's get a star name for a director or an actor." They don't keep saying that. They put their money on what they feel would be the future.
So आप सबने एक साथ काम किया है, बहुत सारा वक्त स्पेंड किया एक दूसरे के साथ. कोई सवाल जो आप इन तीनों में से किसी को भी पूछना चाहते हैं, आप पूछ सकते हैं. Then you can ask a question too.
मैं एक ही सवाल पूछना चाहूँगा, वो बरखा से पूछना चाहूँगा कि how brilliantly she has summed up the fear of irrelevance.
Yes.
क्योंकि अगर आप एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में जाके किसी भी दुनिया के कोने में जाके किसी भी व्यक्ति से पूछें जिसने कभी पर्दे पे परफॉर्म किया हो, या जिस पे कभी आंख लाइट चमकी हो, उसका enduring है fear of irrelevance ही है, और entertainment industry में ज़्यादा है क्योंकि it just chews you up and spits you on the sidewalk. So how did you arrive at this? It was through a traumatic experience, or it painfully dawned on you after seeing others? Very direct and...
Yeah, I know. No, but to be completely honest, yes, it was a very personal experience that I went through in life, which made me realize that I can become irrelevant suddenly. And so I think more than in terms of my profession, because I think a profession it's a fake world that we're living in. That's not reality. That's not our life. We are so much more beyond just being actors.
Of course.
Right? Wives, mothers, daughters, and all of that. But yes, in my personal life, I suddenly had a moment where I was irrelevant. And that's when fear hit me, because before that, I always believed I was a fearless person. So if she had asked me this question a couple of years back, I would be like, I don't know what fear
For me,
is.
the takeaway of that is the most honest
Yes, I completely
response
agree.
that I have heard on this discussion of 1920. The fear of...
See, she's right about Bhatsa. I mean, he has that thing
He
to
opens up.
bring something out. I'm probably
Opens
going to go
up
home and
the
cry now.
audience.
See, that's what happened.
Why go home and cry right now?
She can break down right away. I can see tears here. I can see
The whole world is our family.
Vasudha Kutumbakam, as they say.
Yeah, but anyways, we're done.
You're done. You can't get higher than this.
Of course, not any questions from Avika and Krishna. I have to, if they want to ask something.
I have no questions. I think
I don't want to
reached
cry.
everyone.
I can cry very easily. I can't. I don't want to ask any questions.
So before we say bye-bye, last question. One word, one horror film that you all love. Of course, not this. This, of course, we all love and we are going to love. But एक horror film जो
पहली वाली
हर से याद आ
1920.
जाती है.
पहली वाली 1920. I really love that.
Okay.
There's a show called The Exorcist, which kind of inspired me that horror and emotion can be together.
There's a Japanese film, I think, called Ring.
Yes.
It was called Ringo, I think, in Japanese, but that's probably one of the scariest films I've seen,
I am not avid
Horror film fan.
Content consumer. I don't
Really?
watch audio-visual content unless Shurita, my writer, forces me to see. My mind is still stuck in the past, where Omen is the greatest horror film.
Yes.
And that too because of the horror, what if your own child that you have
It's a
birthed
Satan.
is Satan. Oh my God.
666 written on
So
his
that was, according to me, the scariest film.
Wonderful. On this note, I think I'll have to leave you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.